600 people were screened. Not a single one was neutral, because TikTok had already finished the case. Jury selection took 10 days, but the verdict had been delivered on social media months earlier. This is not a media scandal. This is a system collapse. According to 2025 research, 90% of jurors had seen content about their case on social media before the trial even began. In the digital age, an impartial jury is an illusion. The algorithm selects the jury before the court ever does. This video is not about a single case. This video is about how neutrality has become impossible in the digital age. In the rest of this video, you'll see how a jury reached a verdict before the trial even started, and how social media quietly hacked the justice system. And you would have been inside that algorithm too. Common sense tells us this. Jurors examine the evidence in court and then decide. The reality of 2025 shows that this is no longer possible. A study published in the Duke Law and Technology Review proved that social media is the greatest threat to jury impartiality. Today, a juror sees the case on TikTok before ever stepping into a courtroom. They debate it on Reddit. They watch analysis videos on YouTube, and by the time they arrive at court, a narrative is already built in their mind. The Karen Reed case is the clearest example of this new reality. January 29, 2022, Boston police officer John O'Keefe was found dead outside a home during a snowstorm. Did his girlfriend, Karen Reed, hit him with her car, or did his fellow police officers beat him and leave him outside? Before the trial began, TikTok had already decided. Free Karen Reed. 150 million views. During jury selection, 600 people were screened. Almost all of them had heard about the case, most of them through TikTok. Were the jurors impartial? The court asked them that question. They all said yes, but the algorithm had already decided what content they would see. And the real problem had not even started yet. Jurors no longer arrive in court with an empty mind. The algorithm shapes them with a narrative months in advance. A study published in the Kentucky Law Journal showed that during the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard trial, the pro-Depp TikTok hashtag received 20 billion views. The pro-Heard hashtag, 7.5 million. And that imbalance was reflected in the jury's verdict. In the Karen Reed case, a blog called Turtle Boy published hundreds of posts under the series title Canton Cover-Up. Posts accusing the police, posts portraying Karen Reed as a hero. TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube carried this narrative to millions. Jury selection began on April 1st, 2025. It took 10 days, but the court was asking the wrong questions. Have you heard about the case? The correct question was this: which side did the algorithm push you toward? Because research shows that once a person is exposed to a narrative on TikTok, confirmation bias takes over. Subsequent content reinforces the same story. And when the juror enters the courtroom, they say, "I'm impartial." But the brain has already chosen a side. You might be thinking right now, I wouldn't believe social media. I would look at the evidence. I used to think that too, but research shows that the algorithm operates below awareness, and the subconscious walks straight into the courtroom. This is where impartiality dies. Psychologists call this digital bias. Once a narrative is formed on social media, courtroom evidence cannot undo it. Karen Reed's first trial began in April 2024. It lasted 2 months, 68 witnesses, more than 700 pieces of evidence. The jury deliberated for 27 hours. The result? A hung jury. We were deeply divided, they said. The court declared a mistrial. The second trial began in April 2025. Another jury selection. The same jury pool, Norfolk County, the same problem. Everyone had followed the case on TikTok. June 18, 2025. The second jury reached a verdict. Not guilty of second-degree murder, not guilty of leaving the scene. Guilty only of driving under the influence. 1 year of probation. But here's the critical detail. After the first trial, some jurors spoke publicly. They said, "We had unanimously agreed on acquittal for 2 charges, but we didn't know how to communicate it." The system didn't understand them, because the system doesn't want to admit that the jury had already decided on TikTok. January 29, 2022. John O'Keefe was found dead in Canton, Massachusetts. A snowstorm. Did Karen Reed hit him with her car? Prosecutor Lally said she drank that night. They argued she reversed the car, hit him, and left him in the snow. The defense said his police friends beat him. They left him outside. They blamed Karen Reed to protect themselves. TikTok decided, free Karen Reed. 150 million views. Protests. Signs. Nationwide support. April 16, 2024. The first trial began. Jury selection was difficult. Have you heard about the case? Yes, but I'm impartial. July 1st, 2024, mistrial. The jury couldn't decide. We were deeply divided. Later, a juror said, "We had voted to acquit on 2 charges, but we didn't know how to say it." April 1st, 2025. Second jury selection, 10 days, 600 people screened. All of them knew the case. June 18th, 2025. Acquittal. Karen Reed walked free. But the question remains, did the jury decide, or did TikTok? John O'Keefe's family mourned. Karen Reed's supporters celebrated. And the system still claims that an impartial jury exists. There is no impartial jury anymore. The algorithm delivers the verdict in advance. And in the digital age, courtroom walls cannot keep social media out. The problem is not misuse of social media. The problem is that the human brain is defenseless against algorithms. If, while watching this video, you thought, "I wouldn't be influenced by the algorithm," this is exactly the problem. The algorithm works without being noticed. To see how the system collapses in the digital age piece by piece, subscribe. This autopsy is complete.